Well, good afternoon and good evening, everyone. This is the Tool of Arts. My name is Chuck.
And I'm Lou. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, but it's cold where I'm at.
Well, it's not too cold here. It's 68, I guess, but I'm pretty damn nippy.
It's 29 degrees right now, according to
Oh, moly!
29.
I'd have that heat cranked up. I'd have to have some warmers on my fingers and some on my toes.
It says snow showers. It's 32, but feels like 21. But it says 29 degrees. So it's gonna get down, according to the app. Let's see here. By 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's gonna be 22 degrees.
Holy moly! I hope you're prepared for that.
Yeah, that's why I brought 2 bags, not just because it's 2 weeks. And it said business casual, so, I brought some sport jackets and probably more than I need, but
Better be prepared than unprepared.
yeah.
Check yourself closely. I didn't tell you, but on our trip, somebody stole my sunglasses. I have Ray-Ban sunglasses, but the prescription that I
Okay.
paid for. And I had put them in my bag in the little zip on the top, where it has a zipper on the side and stuff. I put them in there, and I didn't take them out while we were on our trip. When I got home, I was unpacking, and I couldn't find them. So I said, well, maybe I left them. So I've checked everything. Nope. So either on the way up there or on the way back, because I didn't check them while we were, in the hotel or anything. Luckily, I've got another pair. I had a pair that I bought. Those were replacements, so I'm still good without having to go buy some more.
That's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it just goes to show when people want something, they're just going to take it.
Yeah, but to unzip your bag and take a look,
Well,
it's
when you go through customs and stuff, and they may, that because it's in that dark case, maybe it just showed up, in the image, and I can understand why they'd open it up, but to check, but
you didn't have any carry-ons, did you?
no, I didn't have anything to carry on. It was all checked.
Yeah, so somebody had to have unzipped your bag to take a look.
So anyway, that's just kind of where it was. It could be worse, I guess.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So what are you up to? You had a concert this weekend, right?
Yeah, on Saturday night, I got to see Blackie Lawless of Wasp. It was the 40th anniversary of their first album that came out in August of 1984.
Oh, wow. You did a meet and greet with him?
Yep, we got photos. He signed up to 2 items and then had a meet and greet Q&A. Everybody got to ask him a question. He didn't rush anything. He was very nice and gracious. He didn't give like 1, 2-word answers. I mean, he spent a lot of time with everybody. It's one of the best meet and greets I've had.
Oh, wow.
Saxon, Wasp, and George Clinton from Parliament Funkadelic are probably the top 3 meet and greets that I've ever had.
Yeah, and those probably some of the little things that entertainers do that makes them even more popular or engaged with their crowds, because they take the time to identify with you and give you what you want.
Yeah.
So when you get that personal greeting, it means a whole lot.
It was a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. It didn't come across as rote or scripted or, standoffish or anything like that. Or like, hurry up and get through.
Where was that concert at?
The Aztec.
Okay. So that's a nice venue.
It is. Very nice. Matter of fact, he even complimented the venue. A lot of times they will sometimes just say nice things, but that was part of also the Q&A. He had mentioned that somebody asked him where he liked to vacation, and he said he liked San Antonio, as evidenced in the song, which was his encore, called Blind in Texas, about getting drunk in Texas. He doesn't do that stuff anymore, but it's just, he likes Texas and he loves the Riverwalk, he said.
Good. And that's good publicity for San Antonio as well.
Oh, yeah, and the venue's right next to the Riverwalk, too.
So what you got on your agenda next, then?
Just this class for the next 2 weeks. I need to look at the map and see how far I am from Cleveland. I'd like to maybe go check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. I wouldn't think that'd be that far away.
I don't think so either, but you never know.
Well, we had a good Thanksgiving. That was really nice with everybody over.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Yeah, and the food was just some of the best food that we've had in I don't know how long from, store bought. Yeah,
Your mom homemade all that stuff.
really. Yeah,
She bust her butt getting it ready though, I'm gonna tell you. She put a lot into it. Sometimes you buy too much, we forgot all about the fruit tray till it was all
I
over.
know, I know. And she threw you under the bus real quick too.
Yeah. So that's what makes it fun, right? When you have memories that you can something particular about, about an event or family get together, stuff like that. Those are the kind of things you remember for a long time.
Oh yeah. It says it's 205 miles.
Wow, okay. That's a pretty good distance from you.
Yeah, that's a pretty good distance.
Well, it'd be all right for a weekend though. That'd be a weekend trip.
Yeah, it says it's 3 hours. So I mean that
Yeah. So 3 hours up, 3 hours there, and 3 hours back. Good way to kill a Saturday and Sunday.
yeah, I don't know if I'd spend that amount of time.
Of course, when it says 3 hours, it doesn't take into account for the traffic and weather in that case, because I'm sure you got some snow, or we'll have some snow up there with that kind of temperatures.
Yep, you got it.
Well, what do you think about that football this weekend with all the rivalry games?
So I didn't get to hardly watch any of it because I had to be at the venue by 4:30 to start the meet and greet at 5. So the first quarter was just about up when I left, and I listened to quite a bit of the second quarter, and then after that, I was just checking the score, and it just seemed like it was 28-10, 28-14 for like the whole half of the game. It's like nobody did anything after that.
It was we start off really good. Of course, when you play Auburn, just like any rivalry game as a general rule, I've watched that Texas and A&M game. I'm gonna
Right?
tell you, in my opinion, Texas really whooped him. But you know what? The score didn't show that.
The score kind of did.
Well, 17-0. That's a pretty close ball game.
Well, I mean, is it really that close?
Well, to me it was when I watched the game because they had opportunities, but both teams were able to stop the other team when they needed to. Texas, I don't have all the statistics, but best I can remember, they were able to move that ball pretty good. But it was like bend but don't break, and it was stand tall. I think when you hold Texas to 17 points in a game, that's pretty damn good with what they have this year.
But it's been, I think they said 13 years since they've played that game.
Mhm.
It's on the road for Texas, and it's Sark's in his what, fourth year now?
Yeah.
And this is A&M's first year head coach. There's just a lot of those variables when you stack them up. Texas back in Texas is now in the SEC. They're the top dog, so everybody's got their sights on them right now. And then they go on the road on a pretty good A&M football team when you look at it, which goes back to what we were saying about the parity from top to bottom. I mean, South Carolina's been on a 6-game tear. A&M is not looking too shabby. Florida, look at what Billy Napier turned around. That's week 3 or 4. I'm hollering, thinking this guy's gone. And what a turnaround it can make. And in the Auburn game, they were kind of resurgent as well. They beat, who did they knock off the week before? They beat somebody the week before. I just can't remember who it was.
Ole Miss.
Right, they knocked off Ole Miss. I mean, and that is a good win right there. That's a quality win.
Yeah, it was. Actually, Auburn, when you look at their schedule, they lost to Missouri and they lost to us, but they beat Texas A.
That's a big win too.
Yeah. Lost to Vanderbilt, beat Kentucky, lost to Georgia, lost to Oklahoma, and then they had some others. So, yeah, we'll tell you what, it's going to be a game this weekend with Texas and
Georgia, man, I think Kirby's going to take it to him.
You think so?
I think so. I'm pulling for the Bulldogs. A good friend of mine from the unit, he graduated from the University of Georgia. He's not in the unit anymore. He's PCS'd on, but a super sharp guy, super nice guy. And I got a couple other friends that are Georgia alum. You gotta love Kirby. To me, when he was with Saban, I mean, that was the heyday for us. When you look at it, we had the best defense, top to bottom. You couldn't beat us. We were putting in what, 5, 6, 7 guys every year in the NFL from the defense. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
So you think Georgia can beat them twice?
I think so. And not only that, it's another road game for Texas. It's like a home game for Georgia.
You're right. Yeah,
And and they're gonna show up and they're gonna show out. But you know what, Texas, they're gonna show up too.
I think that's going to be one of the best games all day Saturday. There's only just a few games, but I think that's going to be one of the better games.
Back to the rivalry games. Did you watch the the Michigan Ohio State game?
I was back and forth between all of them. Boy.
Man, I did not give Michigan a prayer. If I'd have had $1,000, I'd have bet on Ohio State to just beat them up and down the field. Guess what? Michigan came to play.
Yes, it did. And that's what I like about rivalry weekends. I'm going to tell you the best game for me all weekend was Georgia and Georgia Tech.
8 overtimes. Oh my God. And my buddy was at
Overtime.
that game.
Yeah.
My buddy was at that game.
Oh, is that right? I
Yeah.
watched that when it was right about 10 o'clock. I told your mom, I said, well, only got about another minute or so to play. Yeah,
An hour
I'll be
later.
in. And then we started overtime, so I figured, the first overtime, that would be it. We got 8 overtimes before they finally pulled it out.
My buddy said it was after midnight by the time they got out of there. And he said it was probably like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning by the time he got back to where he was staying.
I believe it. It was 11:15 our time before, when I shut the TV off to go to bed. That was a ball game, I'm going to tell you. And I was surprised. I always liked Georgia Tech because when we were at Warner Robins, the guy that I worked for, his son played for Georgia Tech, Jack Sprouse. You don't remember him, but his son played for Georgia Tech. And so I always kind of liked him. And it goes back to that chick graining deal back in Alabama and stuff like that. Those kind of things. But I was surprised that that game was like it was. That was a football game.
Man, oh man. There was some tough games. And you know what? It just goes back to even though Georgia Tech's not in the SEC, but the parity amongst the teams. It's like, I beat you, you beat them, they beat me. It's like, okay, so who's better?
Yeah. And it goes back to one of the things that you and I talked about before. I think a lot of it is right here. These kids, and they're younger men, I get that. But sometimes when it comes to these games, their mentality is still that 18, 19-year-old process. I can do anything. Nobody can beat me. I'm tough. And then somebody forgets to tell the other team, and the next thing you know, you're behind or they're up with you. It's a fight for life then, because the talent, especially with Georgia and Georgia Tech, it's probably not that much difference because Georgia Tech gets a chance to choose, and you get a lot of guys who can't play Georgia, Alabama, so they'll go there.
Yeah. A lot of great games.
Yeah,
this
it
week.
was a fun weekend.
Unfortunately, it's pretty much over though.
But I'll tell you what, I don't like LSU. Oh, I'm going to rephrase that. LSU is okay. I don't care for the coach. So I sure was rooting for them and hope they put a whipping on Oklahoma after last weekend.
After that, they didn't beat us as much as we beat ourselves.
I couldn't believe that we had made no changes. After that first quarter, it should be obvious to anybody. It was to us. We got to change something up here. We got to do something different because they knew exactly what we were going to do.
And we knew exactly what they were going to do. And they still kept running, and we still couldn't stop them.
And I think that was two things. One, the kids' mentality, but the other, coaches were so convinced of their game plan, they just stuck with it instead of realizing something's not working. We need to do something different. We need to change something.
And before I left, Milroe was doing the same exact runs he did the week before. He would get behind Jam Miller and push him through the line, and then he would scoot in behind him. And I was like, damn it, this is the same exact shit we did last weekend. And it, like 30 seconds later, the announcers were like, hey, this looks like the same play they were trying up in Oklahoma. I'm like, but it worked.
Yeah,
Because it's like you had said, Oklahoma had studied our game plan, and they were prepared for Jalen Milroe.
yeah, yeah, and they changed theirs up a little bit too.
Why does somebody get up for us and then they don't get up for nobody else? I don't get it.
I think that's a good thing. I think that means we're back on the right path because that's the way it's always been. Everybody gets up for us where they get up for nobody else. When you have that kind of threat's probably not the right word, but that kind of demeanor and that people fear you, you know you're going down the right path. And we did what I thought we'd do. They moved into number 11 spot in the AP and the coaches poll. So I'm hoping tomorrow night when the polls come out that we fall into that number 12 spot and get into the playoffs.
Or I think we're in the 11th spot.
Well, we're in 11 on the AP and the FCS, but the BCS polls won't be out until tomorrow night.
Right. So do you think we'll be 11 or 12?
I do. I really think so, simply because of strength of schedule. So I've read a couple of articles over the weekend and talked about strength of schedule. And one of them showed we had like the 9th or 10th or 11th toughest schedule in the whole, talking about in the whole process.
Right.
Everybody. So I'm hoping that will do. Yeah, we beat Georgia. Georgia is back into the hunt, and they beat Texas, win the SEC. I think that's 1-2.
That if Georgia wins, they're going to knock us out.
Do I?
If Georgia wins, we're out because Texas will replace us, won't they?
Texas won't drop down that far. I don't think that will have any effect on how we're placing it. I think will be Arizona State and a couple of those two, because Arizona State plays Iowa State this weekend for that conference championship. And if Arizona State lose, I think that will help us.
I don't think Arizona State's going to lose, though.
I don't either. They're pretty solid.
They're peaking at the right time as well.
But you know what? Those two teams at Iowa and Iowa State, every year, they're always fairly consistent, 6-7 wins, and they play good, solid football. I like the coach at Iowa State. So we'll find out. So it depends on how these conferences fall out this weekend, with the championship or something like that. It's going to be good.
Yes, it will.
So what else is going on?
That's it. Just this class. I don't have anything else projected for the rest of the month. No concerts either, except Christmas, New Year's, and my wife's birthday at the end of the month. That's it.
That's unusual. Usually you have one at least every other week or something.
Yeah, but I've been kind of slowing it down a little bit this year, especially towards the latter part. I'm being a little choosier, and because frankly, it's a lot of the same bands that are coming through that I've seen, and frankly, for those type of bands, I'm like once, twice, and I'm good. So I'm being a little more particular, but Saxon's coming around next year. I love Saxon. I'm going to see them. If they come, if Iron Maiden comes, I'm always going to be there. If Overkill comes, I'm always going to be there. And a buddy of mine, when I saw him at the Iron Maiden concert, he asked me to get us tickets to see Saxon. So we're going to see Saxon. And then there's this old punk band from England called The Damned. They technically had the first single record out before the Sex Pistols did. So technically they had the first punk single out in 1976, I want to say, or maybe it was 77. I can't remember. But at any rate, they're touring. They're going to be at the Paper Tiger next year, and I think they're going to be there in May. Got my ticket already. I'm ready to go. But so already next year, we've got tickets to see February. No,
we got tickets in March, right, to go see See,
Yep, blackberry smoke at the end of March,
yeah,
and we got a porch table for that one.
okay.
To, to,
That'd be good to have the porch table in March and maybe knock off some of that wind, block off some of that wind.
yeah, yep. So in May, Mackenzie graduates college. I got The Damned on a Wednesday night. When in February, we got Gary Clark Jr. I don't think I've got it on the schedule. I don't think I've got it on my calendar. So yeah, Brendan and I and another couple, we're going to go see Gary Clark Jr. on February 20 at the Aztec.
Okay.
So it's not on the calendar. Let me put it on there.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Mackenzie's graduating and she's getting ready to start her next chapter of her life and working towards her master's in her
Yep.
field. And your other niece is starting her master's degree at Arizona State in January. Working, so pretty proud of both of my granddaughters. I'm proud of all of my granddaughters, but those two in particular, with that getting out and going out to that master's degree, pretty impressive. Kaylee and Erica are doing really good, and I'm just so pleased with what Erica and Sam's doing out there. And I got to check on her beehive, see what she's doing with the bees.
Yeah, because it's pretty dang cold out there this time of the year.
Yep.
So we're starting to get to that point where we're starting to ramble. So it's probably a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah, it's about time to try to wrap it up, let you get busy doing what you need to get done. And I need to get out and make an adjustment on my camera. My next door neighbor, Cindy, texted me. There was somebody at her door porch last night, a little after midnight. She's not sure if they were trying to break in or just checking out or what. So she sent me a text. I checked my cameras, and of course, it didn't pick up anything. Changed the angles on two of the cameras that I have in the front. Some of them take in her some of her yard and stuff like that. And then the other one, I made a little bit too much adjustment. I need to go out and make another adjustment on that. It's that time of the year when people aren't doing smart things.
No.
Yeah. And then this afternoon, when I got back with food for your mom and I, this guy was actually at her trying to sell stuff. So I started walking towards me. So I'm just waving off. I don't want anything. He just keeps coming. And finally I said, I don't want anything. He said, did your name Ulysses? I said, yes. He said, well, you request? I said, no, I didn't request anything. Probably wasn't quite that polite about it when I said it. Yeah. He said, well, I said, look, she doesn't want anything. I don't want anything. Don't bother. Besides that, she's locked and loaded. You better leave her alone. She's like you. She goes to the gun range all the time. She's pretty damn good. So I said, Cindy, if I ever have some problem, I'll knock on your door and you can bring your gun over. So got to be careful out there. It's getting that time of the year and people are doing some dumb shit.
They tend to do that.
You be safe and have fun. And
I will. And you
well,
do the same.
we'll catch you up Sunday.
All right. Talk to you later, Dad.
All right. Love you, man. Be safe.
All right. Y'all take care, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a good week.
All right. Bye.
See ya.